Gentlemen, welcome back to Good Enough Garage, the Kitchen Chronicles. First of all, let me start off by saying whenever I say gentlemen, I mean the royal gentlemen, including the ladies. On today's episode, we solve our centering the input shaft ninja star mechanism problem that we've created for ourselves in the last episode. And to do that, we're going to use some random piece of plumbing equipment. This says 1.5 inches of something. This hole here is threaded, really doesn't matter. It's essentially a reducer for us that will fit perfectly into this hole. I understand this is most likely metric sizes and this is some sort of a casting, just fortunately fits pretty good into this hole. Let me demonstrate for you. So that's pretty good. So that goes in there, and now our Ninja Star goes inside of that. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a bit wiggly, and that's where our two random rubber bands come in. So you all start cringing while I start assembling. The rubber bands go on this sort of shaft. Okay, so with the rubber bands on there, serving as our little buffer, I put this star, it fits really snugly in there now. And now I can use a hole punch. So I just want to lift this up to show you that I'm going to hole punch these new holes in between the bad ones. And hopefully that will get us centered on this opening, on this hole. I've actually inserted this from below and kind of ran it through the eyeball test and also measured with calipers to where I hole punched, or where I punched these holes, to make sure this is now centered, and it appears to be much more better than my first attempt with the circumference of the circle. So I hope this will work. Alright, so I spared you the agony of watching me drill a bunch of holes again, but trust me, the holes are drilled in our plate, and the plate is on here and it's fitting great. So let me get you in here and let's take a look. Okay guys, as you can see, we have the plate on here. All the bolts are in here. I can't find this one, but I don't think these two probably will end up in here because this is where the bar is going to go across. This is still just a steel template, fits great. This is perfectly spaced. Just so you know, there is about 1 millimeter of wiggability within these 4 bolts. And I think my first attempt was about 2 millimeters off. And this allows us about 1 millimeter of wiggle. So this fits great. And we are going to call version 2.0 or revision 2.0 a success. Okay, so now it's back to wax on, wax off. I'm going to remove this template, put it on top of our aluminum one, transfer these 4 holes. I don't think this is perfectly vertical. It's skewed, I think, a bit this way. See if you can see what I'm seeing here. But this is not the time to get cute and try to fix that and adjust it. It really doesn't matter. I really don't care. All right, I drilled these 4 holes. Time to remove the template, mount the star to our actual aluminum plate. Wax on, try it on. Okay, so now what we need to do is mount this thing to here. So because there is no hole in here, I don't really need add any spacers on these bolts because that will just bottom out. So that's what I'm sort of discovering here. Okay, I am gonna try to put this plate on there. All right, guys, so here's our first attempt of fitting our actual plate on here. And keep in mind, there is some adjustability in this. So let's see how we do. I'm sure the other sides are spinning, but we'll see if I can loosen this at all, just to get a little bit of adjustment. Huh. Okay, gotta adjust it a little bit. All right, let's try take 2. I loosen these bolts slightly so I can kind of wiggle them a bit. Okay, the dowel pins are guiding me in. Oh, this feels great. Yep. So now, let me just load these in for fun. And last time we had issues with these, so let's see if these will go through. Look at that. Yeah, I can't find one more bolt, but that's okay. I wonder if this one will work. Okay, so let's do one in here. I keep using. All right, beautiful. I love it. This is great, and this one works too. I just can't find the bolt. Okay, so now the plan is to just zip Dewey these with an impact, which will go quick and not work. Not work either. Actually, it unscrewed it? That makes no sense. That one caught it. Huh, interesting. Okay, maybe these two will give me enough to tighten these, remove this, tighten these, and then try it again. And then we'll worry about the next step. But this is goodness. Okay, so I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I already noticed that these arms were bending a little bit down, and I don't trust this for strength. So I want to put some sort of a spacer under here, and the way I plan on solving this problem of this being a weak piece is using aluminum plates that I found some random, I don't know how long it was, maybe 20-inch plate of half-inch aluminum. I got two of these pieces, and I'm going to stack them on top of each other and basically put it under here. I will drill a hole in them and stack them, and so that should solve our problem of that needing a spacer. So here we go, more wax off. I may actually use this template to drill these holes because I will use this hole right here maybe as a guide to help me find this, to center this piece. I'll probably draw an X on here and then put that in the center best I can. That may be the way to go. I don't know if I want to do it this way. Maybe. That way the star has more strength there, I guess, than like this. I don't know if it really matters. Do something like this. Yeah. Figure it out. Okay, something like that, I reckon. I'm gonna have to drill a hole so this piece can go through it. Let me see if I have a hole saw that big. On this episode of Crappy Craftsmen Always Blame Their Tools, hole saws that aren't hole sawing. So guys, I remember when hole saws used to cut holes. And I don't mean this particular blade, I mean actually these things used to work. This particular blade was used once, and I remember I cut a hole in a piece of wood. I kid you not. And I don't know if it was this one, but another one actually got warped. And this one just became dull by trying to cut through wood. So of course I had to go to the store and get some new blades and see if we get lucky with those. Let me know what your luck is like with hole saws. I think this thing is old Milwaukee and they should just stick to making beer. 5 hours later, y'all, we got ourselves the first hole. I think I have to cut 2 of these. Another one in the other plate. It's going to take forever. There we go. All right, guys, so we have our first plate, a hole in the first plate cut out. So obviously that goes in there, and that's going to get attached there somehow. I'm thinking how can we get this aligned? Got that on center. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So here I am finishing up drilling the holes in the 2 plates. I have them clamped together. So it's 2 plates. I C-clamped them. First I drilled small holes, pilot holes, then I went with this bigger. I think it's like 30 seconds or something. This should be enough for our 10 mil bolts. And yeah, so let's give these a try. All right, so we have our 2 plates pre-drilled, and these are just going to be spacers. Okay, they're gonna go like that. Here's our star. And I think I'm just gonna go for broke and try to assemble them onto this final plate instead of our template. That's how confident I'm feeling about this. I am a bit concerned that maybe these will not be long enough until I taper these in, but I'm gonna just give it a shot here. I numbered these for some reason, and then I put which one is top and out, so we'll see how this goes. So it's like this, and then I think I designed it to go this way, and so we can see that one is not enough. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, so that's why we're gonna need to do 2 plates, I think. That also moves this thing inside the transmission more. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, but that's that. Okay, and so we may get lucky here. Oh, wow. This might just work. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to use a washer just for the test fit. Okay. Let's see how this goes. We're going to do the one on the bottom. Look at that. Almost as if we knew what we were doing. And then the big question is going to be, will this fit inside the bell housing? I hope so. And this, let me see, I'm going to make it just finger tight. Trying to see. if this has any wiggle room at all now with everything stacked. Maybe a millimeter, maybe less, but that's the general idea. I'm going to throw this on the transmission and see how lucky we got with this. Also, eventually we'll drill those out too and add more bolts, and I think that should be plenty as strong. Okay, let's try it. So I decided to try the bracket on top of this to see which bolts will interfere and which ones would have to be recessed in there. And guys, every once in a while, the Greg has a blind squirrel finds a nut type of moment. None of these interfere. We can actually overlay this and clear all of them. If that is true, I will be so incredibly happy because I think it will be stronger if I don't set them in there. Now, I think looking back at it, maybe the one above this guy will need to be tapered in, but for the most part, they clear. So folks, here is a bird's eye view. Do you see what I'm talking about? The top three clear. This guy clears. It might be close, it might be tight. But wow, this makes Greg happy. Of course, I dropped a fortune on those tapered bolts, but that's all right. I'd rather have him go through. All right, here we go. I was going to use Loctite on these, but I just don't have any right now. So this is it. Torque down as hard as I can, plus a quarter turn, as they say. There we have it. I'm pretty proud of this, if I do say so myself. Turned out great. Here it is. So as long as this bottom one is flush, they're all pretty flush, maybe just sensitive to the touch, but this one is flush. That's the one that will get covered up with the cross member. So super happy with that. Yep. Just like that. Perfect. Turned out great. So here I'm just bringing you in with the camera closer. You can see how we missed 7 out of the 8 bolts. So that one on the bottom, there's one covered up by this bar. These 3 black ones are flush, even though they didn't have to be, but I just used the same bolts on all of them. Very happy with that, guys. So let's throw it on the transmission for the final time. All right, here we go. What I hope is the final time. It should all align perfectly. There it is. I think this bolt here is the longest one. And I've got these guys. And these 4 here will hold my bracket. Oh man, if I can have this thing resting under its own weight or power, whatever, I'll be so happy. Let's see if I get that cross member back in. Yep. You guys didn't see that. Of course, the wrong way, it goes in easy. Let's see what happens when I try to put it in the right way. Okay, look at that. Now I gotta get my bushings back in there. I think I already forgot how they went, if they went this way or this way, because there is a bit of a difference. Huh, super. I'm gonna guess that they went this way. What now? All right, let's try this again. Okay, that is in. Oh, wow. No way. That was way easier than I thought, so I'm pretty sure something is wrong. Are you serious? Is that what's happening?